Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Susan Lynn. I'm a psychic and a medium. And today I'm going to be doing a video that's going to be in two parts, okay? Because I did this whole video, I've already taped it, and now I'm coming back to say I'm going to split it into part one and part two because it was just over an hour long. And honestly, the things that I'm talking about this video are so important that I really want people to hear it. And I know that when I do an hour-long video that sometimes you guys just can't watch to the end or you get interrupted. So I'm going to break it into something like two 30-minute videos. Part two is about the funding. Why all of a sudden is Speaker Johnson saying, hey, I'm going to put the funding up for a vote? Why all of a sudden is Marjorie Taylor Greene, who said, if you do that, I'm going to call for your ouster? Why is she going along with it? And why, after all of that happened because Speaker Johnson was called to Mar-a-Lago to speak to Trump. After he went down and kissed the ring, he came back and said, okay, we're going to put this on this funding. We're going to call for a vote now after 6 months of delays. And now all of a sudden, Marjorie Taylor Greene is on board. Why? Watch part two for that. I swear it's such an important video. It's going to connect all the dots. It's going to help you understand all the dots. So be sure, and I'm wearing the same shirt because I literally did this all as one video, but I'm going to break it into two parts. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Take really good care. Enjoy the video, and we'll be back real soon. I have this energy that Biden may be giving a pardon, not to Trump. I had to literally go back and write in my notes in all caps, not Trump, to remind myself to tell you, because when I'm channeling, sometimes I feel like I said everything they told me and I don't. Biden is looking to give a pardon to somebody, not to Trump. He will never pardon Trump. He's not going to be able to because Trump is going to be having an exit date. Okay. But this bigger picture I'm about to tell you about is very important because this is where we are now. We're going to talk about Ukraine funding. We're going to talk about Israel, Palestinian, and Taiwan funding. We're going to be talking about funding. We're going to talk about Speaker Johnson. We're going to be talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene. We're going to be talking about Massey. We're going to be talking about Congress and the Senate and the world, the safety of the world. Truly important. So let's talk about this. Biden given a pardon. Well, what's happening right now is that Biden needs, we're in a deadlock. Now this deadlock has just been released, and I'm going to talk about that. The deadlock is Congress. The deadlock is the Democrats and the Republicans. It's literally a deadlock. For 6 months, we've been trying to get Ukraine funding. For several months, we've been trying to get peace amongst Israel and Palestine. A lot's been going on and nothing has been happening. Deadlock. That's the energy. Well, I really do think that eclipse kind of blew it up so that we could, it's kind of like you don't like the cards you've been dealt, so you throw them in the air and you start over again. That's kind of where we are. Now, I do think that Biden because he's a Scorpio, this is all under cover of darkness. And I'm not saying he's given a pardon to anybody yet, but I'm saying that he might give a pardon to somebody who he feels is so important to this next level. And it's not about him getting reelected. It's not about that. It's about helping the world be safe. So if somebody in Congress, perhaps, like they're showing me Michael Cohen, like Michael Cohen was on Trump's team. He did some bad deeds. He lied. He perjured himself. He did bad things. He went to prison and he did the thing that we hope that prison does. He came out and he said, that's it. I'm not going to be a bad guy anymore. I'm going to be on the side of truth. I'm going to be on the side of justice. That's the whole reason, theoretically, besides it's privatized and they want to make all the money they can. But if you took out the privatization, monification of it, it's about punishment. Get yourself together and hopefully you can come back and be a productive member of society. Well, Michael Cohen did that. So they want to say this is the similar thing that Biden is thinking about with this pardon. He wants to pardon I use the word he wants. I'm channeling. That's not what I wanted to say, but that's what I said. He wants to pardon someone because he feels like they transgressed. I don't know if that's the right trespassed and transgressed. I think they mean the same thing in this situation. They effed over. In Susan parlance, they effed over America. No doubt about it. Clear, black and white, done, did, check mark, did it. However, from their position, they could become a Michael Cohen. They could become someone who could turn around and help the DOJ, help justice prevail. But they're stepping back because they're on the hook. They're going to go down, and they want a pardon. They want one of those magic pardons. And, well, I think they probably wouldn't have asked for it, except for that we saw Trump hand them out like candy. So now these people believe that presidents give pardons like a Pez machine, right? So that's interesting to me. I think that Biden will do it if he can. It's like I've always called Biden a horse trader. He's a bargainer. He's a go across the aisle, work it out kind of guy. Look, you want this, I want this. Where can we compromise? Where can we have a deal? He's a deal maker. So this makes sense. He's willing to either commute somebody's. I just heard the word commute somebody's sentence. That means that perhaps it's too late for this pardon. And Jack Smith has his fingers on this person. This person's going to be in prison. He may offer to commute this person's prison sentence, which means shorten it or end it if they testify, to the truth. Stop claiming the fifth or stop lying. Okay. I think that's interesting. Now let's move on. I don't know who it is. I can't tell you who it is because I don't want to tell you who it is. I'm not looking because sometimes I can know too much and I don't need to know too much. And we don't need to know too much because this all needs to be, and I could be wrong anyway, right? This is all in flux. I really like to tell you things that I feel more certain about. And even then I could be wrong. Okay. Now, so for 6 months, Speaker Johnson has been holding up Ukraine aid. I've done a lot of videos about this. I've talked about how this is making the world come together to support Ukraine. It's making the world tighter in its support of each other. It's bringing countries together. It's making the world understand, holy, shite balls. We got to do something. America's down on the floor. It's been sucker punched. We've got to, whatever, again, the guides are showing me the picture of countries going into their proverbial couches and digging out change. Like, where can we get some money to give Ukraine? Because Ukraine is fighting the proxy war for all of us. God bless them. Ukraine is fighting for all of us. If Ukraine wasn't standing in the breach to stop Russia, we would already have World War III. Already be in WW3 with NATO involved. Ukraine is keeping WW3 at bay. This is what my spirit guides are saying, but this is also now what these war strategists are saying. They're sounding the alarm. If Ukraine doesn't get money soon, it's over. We are in WW3. Okay? Now, don't stop the video now because you're going to be real sorry. We're not going to be in WW3 because guess what? Speaker Johnson was called down to Florida to the magical Mar-a-Lago where he met his king. And the king said, go back to Congress and tell them to pass this funding. What? Does that make any sense? This is why I'm doing this video, because it doesn't make any sense. And when things don't make sense, I want to know why. And I'm not just going to apply some kind of, theory like the legal pundits do or the political pundits do when they say, oh, it's because Trump finally realized America supports Ukraine and Israel and Palestine and Taiwan. That's a bunch of bull hockey. Trump doesn't care. Y'all really going to believe that? I mean, honestly, What that is the human brain trying to make sense of something that makes no sense. And therefore the human brain is going to apply whatever the next best thing is. And then we're all going to believe it because we don't have the psychic ability or the wherewithal or the wish to use our intuition. So here's what we know. Here's what the spirit guides know. And that is, when you're talking about Trump, you're talking about Putin. One and the same. And when you're talking, not one and the same. My bad. There's a hierarchy, right? Putin's in charge. Trump is a lackey. Trump is a useful idiot. Okay. The Republicans, useful idiots. Putin is in charge. Not only Putin, but you could say China, Iran, Saudi Arabia. There's a lot of countries that want America to fail. We've talked about this many, many times. Okay. Now, so you would say, because this is the part that doesn't make sense, you would think, well, wait a minute. If Trump is answering to Putin and Putin wants Ukraine, then why would Trump say, go ahead and give Ukraine funding? It doesn't make sense, you guys, because it doesn't make sense. Putin wants to destroy Ukraine. Us giving Ukraine billions of dollars in weapons is probably not going to make that happen. So here's the interesting thing about Russia that you may not know. And once you know this, you can apply this filter to everything that comes out of Putin's mouth, everything that comes out of Russia, and you're going to understand things a lot more clearly. And that is, Russia will do things that is not in its best interest if they think that they can spin it in the long run. So, for instance, it is widely known and accepted that Putin bombed his own city. He bombed his own apartment complex. It's widely known. This is before he attacked Ukraine. He does these things to control his people. He does these things to make his people understand, we're under attack, we're at war. I can't give you any more money. You're not going to get that new apartment. It's communism, right? We don't have the money. You have to be for all of us. We're all in this together. And right now we're at war. And look what just happened. To prove it, his people live in a terrarium, in an aquarium, where he controls everything. Or think about it as a stage. His people are in the audience and he's got the stage. So he creates a disaster. And then all his people are like, we're under attack. We're under attack. America attacked us. They believe what he tells them because that's their only source of information for the most part. Okay. So why this makes sense is, and it's complicated, so I'm going to try to explain it. Right. Okay. Now I got it. I lost it for a minute. Okay. So here's why it's important for Putin, for America to have this vote, for the Congress to have the vote. Okay. Here's how it's going down. Johnson went to Mar-a-Lago. He came back. He said, I'm going to put this, I'm going to make a vote. I'm going to go ahead and do a vote, but I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to separate it so that it's like line item voting. We're not going to make it this big omnibus. We're not going to make it this big bill. We're not going to put it all together. We're going to separate it all out. So Congress can vote on Ukraine separately, on Israel separately, on Palestine separately, and on Taiwan separately. Now, what's interesting is that I saw some commentators yesterday say, this is great. This is the way it should be, right? This way, everybody gets to vote for what they want, and there's no gotchas. There's no, like right now, some of the Democrats are voting against the spending bill or have voted against things because it has money for Israel in it, or money for this in it, or money for Palestine in it. Or it doesn't have money for this, or it does. So they can't vote for the whole bill because it has one thing in it that ruins it for them. Whatever that is, that one thing is like, no, I can't vote for this whole bill because it has this one thing in it that I'm against. Okay. So now everybody's saying this is great because now everybody can just vote for Ukraine and they don't have to have it the vote kind of tainted by this Middle Eastern war that's going on. Okay, that's true. I can get behind that, right? That makes sense. Except for here's where it's going to get. Here's what they're hoping. Here's the catch. Here's the thing you don't understand, and the legal pundits and the political pundits don't understand. America, I've talked about this before, America is becoming more isolationist. Even we already knew the Republicans were isolationist, but now the Democrats are becoming isolationist because the media, because the true psychological operation coming from Russia, which is the talking points that Russia wants, that these countries want, are seeping into our media. Definitely coming out of the Republicans with a bullhorn. And that is, you shouldn't give your money to Ukraine. You don't have money. Where's your money? Why are you paying so many taxes? Why are those homeless people out there? Why are veterans not getting money? Why are we going to take away your Social Security? You know, if you weren't paying, this is what you're going to hear. If you weren't giving money to Ukraine and Israel and Palestine and Taiwan, we could pay your Social Security. Just wait till you hear that. Wait till you hear those words. Well, Social Security would be flush if we didn't give all this money to these other countries. That, you guys, is going to be a real problem. A real problem. This is something that God's been talking about. Americans are becoming more and more isolationist. Why? Why is America giving so many billions of dollars to these countries? Why? You may really, truly be thinking the same thing yourself. Now, in this case, well, Ukraine is at war and they're standing in for us. And unless we want our 18-year-olds and 20-year-olds and 25-year-olds and whatever's going to war or even being deployed as part of NATO, then it's worth the money. You know, I think that's worth the money. That's a war, right? Now, Taiwan's not at war. Why do we need to give Taiwan money? This is the wedge issue, the spirit guides are saying. So this is why Putin told Trump, call up your boy Johnson, get him down to Florida and tell him what's up. What's up is we're going to put it on the floor. We delayed for 6 months. That gave them 6 months to wear Americans down to the point where Americans will take anything, where Democrats will take anything. This is what they do. Look at the border bill. They had the Democrats ready to pass the most stringent, most Republican border bill ever in the history of this country. The Democrats were like, we'll sign it. We'll sign anything. Let's just do this. And the Republicans were like, no, we're not going to do it. We don't feel like it. But they moved the needle to the right. And then they took the ball off the field, right? It's the Charlie Brown thing. Kick the ball, Charlie Brown, and then Charlie Brown kicks air. Meanwhile, they're moving us to the right because the Democrats already got okay with this really right-wing border bill. And so did the public. So Speaker Johnson spent 6 months wearing us down, wearing us down, wearing us down, wearing the world down, where we're going to accept anything just to get something. So here we are. They did their 6 months, and now he does the same thing with trials. This is Trump's MO, right? I'll wear you down at the court. I'll have so many attorneys. Do you want to sue me? Fine. I'll wear you down. It'll take you 20 years and all your money. You'll have no money and I'll win. This is his MO. Now, so Trump calls Johnson and says, you're going to put it up. You're going to separate it all out so that all these Congress people have to show their votes. Are you going to vote for Israel? Are you going to vote for Ukraine? Are you going to vote for Taiwan? Are you going to vote for Palestine? What are you going to do? What does that do? It divides us. It divides us. And division is what the name of the game is. From day one, Trump's presidency, Putin's power over the United States has always been about dividing us, creating chaos. Can I trust the news? I don't know. Can I trust the courts? I don't know. Is the Constitution really working? I don't know. I'm not sure anymore. I'm not even sure this democracy is working. And you want to know what? You hear that from Democrats and you hear that from Republicans. That is the name of the game. To make both of us so unsure, so divided that we give up. And then we sign on to some right-wing malarkey because we're just trying to get something done, even if it's wrong. Because the Democrats say, just get points on the board, just get something passed. We can always go back and fix it. Honey, when do we ever go back and fix it? This stuff stays enacted as law for 10 and 20 and 30 years. It's very hard to go back and fix it. Not impossible, but it's not something you should count on, right? But meanwhile, we can't do nothing. So you see where the conundrum is. Do you understand why all of a sudden Speaker Johnson's going to be bringing a vote to the floor to pass the funding? It's not that the Republicans are saying, oh, the public is for funding. We better act right. We might lose. Are you kidding me? Are you for real? That's a bunch of bull hockey, for real. They're not saying that. They got their marching orders. These Republicans are the same people who are willing to lose all their money and not have any money to support their campaign simply to follow, this man, 45. They're in for a penny. They're in for their whole lives. They're in for their freedom. They're in for their literal freedom, as in going to jail freedom. They don't care what America thinks. They're not even caring about winning election because they understand 100,000% that their only way they're going to win election is if Trump wins election. They've crossed the Rubicon. They've crossed the line of being able to separate from him. And their only other option is to step down, is to walk away from their seat, which a lot of them have. Now, I feel like a few are going to wake up and say, wait a minute, this is too far. It's too late. It's too late for them. They're going to be voted out by their districts. It's just too late. It's too little, too late, the guides are saying. Now, and hopefully this has all made sense, right? The last thing I want to talk about is Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Thomas Massie. I mentioned them earlier. Now, this is what's interesting. You've already seen both of them say to Speaker Johnson, we're going to challenge you. We're going to pull the plug on your speakership. And you've already seen Trump say some nasty things to Marjorie Taylor Greene. He has said some nasty, he vacillates between being nice and nasty to people, but lately he's just been nasty to Marjorie Taylor Greene. So Marjorie Taylor Greene wants power. She wants the speaker. She wants the power. And she's no dummy. She's street smart. I mean, she might be dumb as a stump, but she's street smart. And Massie is a smart guy. He's an MIT graduate. He's a smart guy. He's an isolationist, but he's smart. So these two are looking at Trump and they're saying, you know what? This guy doesn't look too well. I don't think he's going to survive. I don't think he's going to survive this court case. So let's just see what happens. Let's hang out here. Let's hang out here. Let's go ahead and allow Speaker Johnson to do this because they're like hungry wolves. MTG and Massie are like hungry wolves in the shadows waiting for their, the victim, for their prey to get weak. And then they're going to pounce. So they're going to allow this to happen not because they're being made to, and not because they think it's in the best interest of the country, because they don't. They think all this is going to somehow benefit them in the end. Because however this vote goes, it's going to divide America. It's not going to be, you would think that everybody would just line up. You would think everybody was just going to line up and vote. Yes on Ukraine. Yes on Israel. Yes on Palestine. Yes on Taiwan. But it's not the case. It is not the case. And it's gonna cause division and a split, I believe, in the Democratic Party. Right now, I see Jeffries doing, and actually Nancy Pelosi and Biden and everybody doing everything they can. Everything they can. It's like if you're using all of your muscle to hold something and you're barely being able to hold it up, you're shaking because you're holding it up, something that's too heavy. That's the analogy for what's happening. Everybody's talking to the squad and Congress because guess what? Right now, we don't really have a real favorable situation between Israel and Palestine. So why should some of these Congress people vote for Israel to get money or vote for Palestine to get money? That's a split. It's a split. It's exactly what they wanted. This is what they wanted. Hold us at bay, wear us down, make us unsure, make us divided, bring chaos, and then ease up on the tension when everybody is literally fighting each other, which they are in Congress. The best case scenario is I think Ukraine is going to get their funding. Worst case scenario is I think we're going to have some real surprises around the other funding. And there's also real surprises in how America and Americans are going to go forward in funding other countries. We haven't had a war. I mean, we've had, and this is no disrespect to veterans that fought in Desert Storm, because I have my brothers fought in Desert Storm. But we haven't had World War II in a while. And Americans don't remember that. They don't remember what it was like to have to do that. And so Americans don't understand the value in supporting other countries monetarily so that we don't have to go fight. We don't feel that anymore. We're not there anymore. We're just not there anymore. And I think this is the spirit guide, so it must make sense historically. And that is that they've been showing me how, please tell me if I'm wrong, but this is what spirit guides are saying, how Churchill went to the United States and said, we need help. We need help. We're getting bombed. We need help. And America was a little bit slow to join that war. We were a little bit slow, according to what my spirit guides say. Maybe this is according to what some historians say. America was a little slow to join that. Here we are again. We're a little bit slow to join and help others. And you saw what, if that was the case, if America was indeed slow to join, then you might say that had we joined earlier into that war, things could have been different. Things could have been faster. Lives could have been saved. You could say the same thing for Ukraine. Had we joined earlier, lives could have been saved. Things could have been different. This is this energy that's here in America. Like, I don't know. Do we really need to go to war for these people? And I have my own conflicting opinions about this because they just showed me Canada, right? Like, some countries don't stand on the forefront. They let other countries go first. And America is typically the first or second country to go. And I think that's going to change. And what does that mean for the world? Well, what it means is what the guys have told you before. Because America's down on the mat, haven't been sucker punched by Congress and these countries that are interfering in our Congress and in our democracy and everything, the world has had to say, wow, whoa, we have to band together. So it is going to help in the future. I do see countries coming together to support each other. And I do see the United States of America being third, fourth on that. Again, we're going to create a bigger NATO, a bigger, more robust, more armed. I mean, a real, not just North Atlantic, kind of group a bigger group that's worldwide, because we have to, because we need to be in this together instead of one country and its citizens feeling like, whether it's true or not, feeling like they're bearing the brunt financially of supporting all these countries. So there's going to be this equalization. But until that happens, these countries are going to try to divide not only the United States, they're going to try to divide Canada. They're going to try to divide. Well, look what they did with Brexit. Do you think Brexit was Britain's idea? That was a psychological operation. That was Russia. That was a psychological operation. They got in these Brits' minds. Hey, you need to separate. You need to be isolationist. Do you see? Are you connecting the dots? Are you connecting the dots? They're working on Australia and its connections to, Singapore or to these other countries that might be in their backyard, in their neighborhood. It's all about divide and conquer. So now that this is the big picture, now that we have the big picture, what I feel like is we're going to, I don't feel like it's going to work, because the bottom line is to just put a bow on top of this. The bottom line is it's not going to work. They've done the worst. The spirit guides are saying they've done the worst damage they can do already. We're at rock bottom. We're actually at rock bottom. Thank God. Thank God. It's not going to get any worse. It really isn't. It's bad enough. I mean, when you're living it, you really can't even tell how bad it is. From here on up, it's about rebuilding. What do we want to be? We're going to rebuild our amendments. We're going to rebuild our Constitution. We're going to rebuild our democracy. We're going to rebuild our societal norms to include trans, to include a woman's right to choose, to include race relations, to include reparations for First Peoples, Native peoples, African Americans, Asian Americans, anybody who's been, again, transgressed against. We're going to do this because the guides kept asking you a while back, what will the humans choose? That's what they kept saying. What will the humans choose? Used to drive you guys crazy. What do they mean? What are we going to choose? Here we are. Here we are, rock bottom. We get to rebuild this. How will we rebuild this? Well, the energy suggests that the divine feminine, and that doesn't mean all women, it means men and women mixing and balancing their masculine and feminine energies. It means our society balancing the feminine energy with the masculine energy better. Better. It's going to happen by degrees. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. We're not going to wake up tomorrow. We're not going to wake up in 2 years. It's going to happen by degrees, because these younger people are going to be aging up into voting age. And they're the ones that have this new, well, they're growing up in a world that is completely new in all ways. And they don't see race the way the older generations do. They don't see trans. They don't see sexuality even the same. And they value the environment more. So these kids, as they age up, will start to change things. So this is not a 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 year thing. This is as we go, this is a new millennium. This is a new time, a new age. And it's not only in the United States, it's everywhere. It's worldwide. But of course, in the beginning, the power is not going to want to give up the power. So you're going to have this strife and this struggle between the divine feminine and the divine masculine, because the divine masculine's been in power, and they're not just going to walk away from that. They're not going to walk away from that. So we're going to have some struggles, but it's not going away. So I'm going to leave it with that. Let me know in the comments what you think. So if it's 2 videos, you just watched the end of part 2. Take really good care, everybody. Really and truly take good care of yourselves. We are at rock bottom. This is basically after the car accident when you think I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm fine, and then the next day you're like, I'm not okay, I'm not okay. You're like, I feel terrible, everything hurts. We're not feeling the pain yet because we're still in this sense of adrenaline, right? When you go through something really terrible, you get through it through adrenaline. So now, after Biden gets elected, we're going to have that post adrenaline, like we're going to fall out. People are going to fall out. I don't want you to fall out. I don't want you to get sick. I don't want that. So take it from me. Drink your water. Sip political news through a straw. Add more joy to your life. If you're like, I don't even know what that is, well, I can help you with that. Go on YouTube and watch a video of puppies, of baby animals, of rainbows, of funny videos. That's joy. Okay, I know that a lot of us don't know what that is anymore. All you have to do to add a little joy to your life is listen to some uplifting music. Listen to music from a time when you were happy. Watch a funny video. Do that 5 minutes a day. I'm just asking for 5 minutes a day. Do it 5 minutes a day. It will change your life. 5 minutes a day will change your life. And I'm going to tell you, you and I both know you'd be sitting in that bathroom for 5 minutes. You tell me you don't got 5 minutes? Watch it when you're in the bathroom. There are no excuses here. 5 minutes a day. Watch something funny, watch something uplifting, listen to music, walk in nature, put a puzzle together, crochet, knit, cook, read, something that is completely just for you, not for your kids, not for your neighborhood, not for your friends, for you. 5 minutes. It'll change your life. I'll see you again real soon. Take really, really good care of yourselves, okay? For entertainment purposes only.